What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your buddy, your pal, your host with the most, Nano Goblin, along with the other host with the most.
Gelmain, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Peripheral Rewind. Woo!
Yeah.
Woo!
And I'm sorry you're getting a lot of man boob action on my side today. I didn't realize this shirt was rather clingy. I feel very,
Yeah. Just lift it up and tuck it underneath, you know.
yeah.
Now he's all like schoolgirl, like, don't
Yeah.
look at me. um, all right. We are talking about Saturday morning cartoons today.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Saturday morning cartoons, but we're also going to dip into that TGIF era of TV shows as well, stuff that we watched Friday nights. You know, the school week is over, we get home right around dinner time is when that TGIF block starts. And it's usually 4 shows in a row. We'll talk about that, but then we'll also talk about the stuff we watched when we got up in the morning on Saturday. Just because that's generally when I would say I watched a lot of TV the most, because like I grew up on a lake, so I was gone. But Saturday morning, I'd wake up, sit down, watch cartoons until, you know, till all my friends were available. I say all my friends, I didn't have that many friends, but like the couple friends were available to go out and go swimming or do whatever in the afternoons and stuff like that. So I'm just realizing how low my microphone is. My mouth is up here, my mic is down here.
Yeah, I probably should do something. So, that's actually not too bad there.
There we go.
There. Okay. Look at us go. We're 15 episodes in now. Well, technically 14, and we're finally getting mic placement, baby. Let's go one step at a time.
Mine's only down there because I've been doing a lot of flying lately. I talked about it in the last episode. So that it's down there just because generally when I'm doing stuff, like I have it actually further away from me. And I don't want to, because I wear VR on it. I don't need a mic right in my face. Every time I look down, I hit it. So,
Fair enough.
but anyways, so yeah, we're going to talk about that stuff. So, we'll start this with, let's talk about Saturday morning first, because it's the early morning. These are the cartoons kind of thing. So we'll start there, and then we can talk about the evening shows after. So on Saturday mornings, let's say during school, Saturday mornings during school, what time were you getting up?
So during school, I got up around 6 o'clock, and the bus would come get me at 7.
Right. So what
So
time would you'd sleep in on Saturday?
on Saturday, I'd probably be up around 7:30, 8 o'clock typically, but that's because, well, full of energy and things didn't hurt. So, um,
Fair.
so yeah.
Yeah, I'd say I was probably to think about it, I was probably a 8 to 9 o'clock kind of wake upper person, somewhere in that block. Because like Saturday mornings, like if I don't have to get up for school, like goddamn, like you can't get me out of bed. Like I might be up at like 8 o'clock, but I'm laying in bed trying to continue to sleep for at least another hour.
My dad
unless
was
unless there was something a good cartoon on, then I would get up.
fair enough. Like my dad was pretty chill with me playing video games for as long as I wanted, as long as I had homework and good grades and all that. Um,
Right.
so Saturday, dude, video games in between the blocks, dude. Power on my Super Nintendo or my Genesis, play some Power Rangers, go right back to watching TV. Like, yeah.
See, we had 2 separate TVs. So in our living room, we had the TV, which was hooked up to whatever satellite or cable or whatever we had at that point in time. And that was like realistically, that was the watching TV. But then the room right next to it was kind of our playroom, which had a separate TV that had our console and stuff hooked up to it.
Mhm.
And then there was a computer in the corner kind of thing. Um, so I could play video games while I watched Saturday morning cartoons if no one else was watching the TV, which
That's fair.
honestly was a rare occasion. That's why the only reason I would get up by 8:30 is because my stepdad or my mom would either already be gone to work or still in bed because they'd sleep till like 10 if they had the day off kind of thing. So that was
Nice.
the only reason I would get up and watch cartoons is because no one else was watching it. And then like when I was 8 years, well, I guess I was probably 10 years old when my little brother started kind of taking over the TV because he was like 2 at that point.
Mhm.
So I got stuck watching fucking Teletubbies and fucking
Blues Clues or
Caillou and
whatever.
shit and like that. Yeah, Blues Clues, Caillou, all that bullshit that was on at that point.
So for me, the reason I say in between is I was fortunate enough to have what was called the TV game cart. So my dad took one of those like rolling carts
Right.
and plugged my video game consoles into it and then hook and put one of those CRTs on it so I could play and watch, but I would always get so absorbed into what I was watching to make sure I
Oh yeah.
knew what was going on. I would still end up
Yeah.
playing in on the side anyway.
See, my problem was because it was 2 separate rooms, like they were back to back. So best way to describe it. So my living room, typical living room comes off the kitchen, typical living room, and then there's a hallway that goes to the staircase, but there were 2 rooms. It was essentially like a parlor, I guess, because it was actually there was the hallway, there was a doorway for each of the living room and the game room, but between them was actually a big French doorway, like a big huge opening. So I would assume back when the house was older, there was a front parlor because that's where the original front door was. Um, and then there was the living room, like the whatever room, the sitting room or so whatever you would call it at that point in time. But yeah, there was a big doorway right there. So literally, we had 2 couches back to back in that doorway. So if something really cool come on the TV, I'd literally hop the couch over to the other couch. My
Nice.
parents hated it because we were always climbing on the back of the couch, and my parents were like, "Get off the back of the couch!" Like, but it's the quickest way. Why would I go out to the hall, walk down the hall, and then come into the living room? Like that just doesn't make sense. I could just jump into the living room.
There you go, that kid
um,
ingenuity right there.
Yeah, like the quickest point between point A and point B is a straight line.
Right. You were doing the math,
um,
so you were good to
yeah,
go.
exactly. Um, okay, so we know what time we're waking up. So when you got up, what was your breakfast of choice to go with Saturday morning cartoons?
Oh, Lucky Charms, 100%.
I was a Fruit Loops kind of person. I really enjoyed Fruit Loops. Actually, speaking of Fruit Loops, so I'm a type 2 diabetic, and so I haven't been able to enjoy the really sugary cereals. And I used to be like I'd pour a big bowl of cereal kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Fruit Loops, Frosted Flakes, and I think there's 1 or 2 others have just brought out 50% less sugar versions. So there are Fruit Loops that are 50% less sugar, and I'm like, yep, I'll take those, please. So
Nice.
I've been enjoying those. It's actually really nice. So in the last little while, there have been lots of companies actually that have put out lower sugar options, which I'm like, yeah, I'll eat all of that because like I still don't eat a lot of it because obviously it's still there's still I think it's like 7 grams of sugar per 1 cup or something like that. So it's still higher in sugar than if I were eating something that is only like 2 or 3 grams. Um, but it's manageable. It puts it in the realm of what I can eat. And I'm not like I'm at a point now where I've managed my diabetes well enough that my doctor's like, you could probably not be taking your metformin and just try and manage your diabetes, you know. But I'm like, yeah, but if I just stay on the metformin, then I can eat a little more sugar.
That's yeah, that's good thinking right there.
But yeah, Fruit Loops was my go-to cereal, or Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh yeah, cinnamon. That was my second go-to. So, Lucky Charms and Cinnamon Toast Crunch, fantastic.
Yeah, French Toast Crunch was also really good.
Oh, dude, I haven't had that in so long.
Yeah, French Toast Crunch I liked because the flavor was really nice, but it also had, because it was little pieces of toast, it gave me that Captain Crunch kind of crunch to it, and
Mm.
it was really nice.
Oh
Captain
yeah,
Crunch was also really good.
the Oops All Berries.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh
You
man,
know
so
what?
good.
There was a bunch of people at school at one point that really got into Fruity Pebbles, and I was like, why? There's like they're good, but no, they're like a crappier Rice Krispie.
Thank you. Exactly. Like,
like like just go with a regular Rice Krispie and put some sugar on that bitch, and it's good to go.
th- yeah, man. You're speaking my
Like
language, man. Like, yeah.
it's so okay. Here's a crazy side thought. Speaking of breakfast cereal, how did your taste for breakfast cereal evolve as you got older? So obviously, as a kid, Fruit Loops and Lucky Charms were the go-to. Has your favorite really changed as you got older?
Uh huh. Absolutely. And I am
So
on
so where are you now?
Raisin Bran Crunch.
Raisin Bran Crunch. I forgot that existed. So I'm with you. So, and it has nothing to do with the healthy side of it. I
Mm,
actually, so I went from liking Fruit Loops to liking like Frosted Flakes and stuff like that. And then eventually Raisin Bran, specifically the 2 scoop Raisin Bran, not the 4 scoop Raisin Bran, um, was my favorite cereal for the longest time. And then um, when when the doctor said, "Hey, you have diabetes," I actually stopped eating Raisin Bran, knowing that it is still technically good for me, but there's actually a lot of sugar in it. Like it's kind of mildly insane, and that's because it's grapes, like raisins.
sure.
Um,
Yeah.
but there is technically sugar still added to it to
Mm.
make the flavor profile come up. Um, but yeah, I forgot about the crunch. Ah, those oat cluster crunch.
Yeah,
Oh,
those little Odie granola things. Yeah.
yeah,
So good.
yeah. If I could go back to just say like eat any cereal right now, I'd probably go back to eating a lot of Raisin Bran. I don't know why it's as like as I got older, I moved away from the really sugary stuff. And I don't know if it's I just got sick of how much sugar there was, or if it was just purely my taste profile just changed.
I think because like I don't know if this is fully scientifically accurate or not. So take it with a grain of
Man science.
yeah, take it with a grain of sugar, okay? You know, um like I think because our taste buds are fresher and newer as kids, like we were able to appreciate that wow, that pow factor a little bit better.
Yeah, that punch of the sugar, the high sugars and stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I could understand that.
And as
But I don't
we get
know.
older, yeah,
It's just one of those things like I actually more enjoyed the plainality of it because it was predictable. Every time you're like, "Yep, this is what I'm getting." And then you'd get a raisin, you're like, "Hey, that was pretty good," you know?
yeah, yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but you know, even now as an adult, like I really liked the Fruit Loops. I bought like a couple boxes of them and ate them. They were really good, but I the Frosted Flakes I think are actually, and what I like about the Frosted Flakes is they're whole grain um flakes, and then they're
Mm.
mildly frosted. So they're just I don't know, they it reminds me a lot of eating Raisin Bran, but um yeah, I don't know. It's I I as bad as it is, I prefer cereal that goes kind of soggy, I guess. That's really what it comes down to.
Hey man, you know, and that milk cereal, that cereal milk, like
Yeah.
after you finish eating it.
Oh, top tier.
Oh, 100%.
They honestly, I would be okay if they've said, "Hey, you can buy cereal milk now that is just has that aftertaste of Fruit Loops or something like that." I'd be like, "Yep, I'll take that."
I think they had that for a little while here in the
They
States
did,
anyways.
they did. Yeah, they had Fruit Loop milk and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, so now that we've sidetracked off a little bit, all right. So Saturday morning during, I'll say that beginning of the school year, that September, October, November kind of era, what channel did you tune into? What was your default turn it on, like Disney Channel or Cartoon Network or whatever, like your
S-
default Saturday morning cartoon channel?
Saturday morning, a lot of it was Fox Kids. Um
Okay,
and then after the Power Ranger Big Bad Beetleborgs Masked Rider block,
right.
I would end up swapping over to Kids WB, which would have like the Batman animated series with the
And
legend.
Animaniacs and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and Pokemon, of course, and then
Right, right. See,
Digimon's better.
mine,
Getting that
mine,
engagement.
um, mine is probably my I realistically two channels. There was technically PBS, but no one watches Saturday morning PBS. Um, because generally it's for a lot younger of an audience. Um, like 3, 4 year olds kind of thing. Um, YTV was my mainstream kids show network. Um, and then uh, ABC would have their Disney Saturday mornings, whatever, where I would get like the Weekenders and stuff like that. Um, Rocket was it Rocket Power? Was Rocket Power Disney?
That's on Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon.
Was it? What was there was Weekenders and there was Doug
There was Lloyd in Space as well.
and was um was it Pepper Ann? Was that Disney?
Pepper Ann was Disney. Doug
Yeah.
initially for the first 4 seasons was Nickelodeon, and then it got bought by Disney.
Yeah, it was on Disney, I think, by the time I was, because I'm Canadian, so we get things a little later. Um, but yeah, it was. I would either turn on ABC or I would turn on YTV. And as bad as it sounds, like YTV was good and everything, but I liked the Disney side of it because of Recess and stuff. So it would be on there. Like, don't get me wrong, YTV would have it, but it would be at a different time.
Mhm.
Um, but it was just one of those like if I tuned into YTV, it was because Beast Wars was on or um uh freaking wow, I just had it. Uh
Reboot?
yeah, Reboot would be on. There was another one that I literally had it in my brain. Um, and it just went phew, out of my brain. Um, oh, Beyblade and stuff like that would be on and stuff like that. So I'd get that kind of stuff. Reboot was really good as well. That was definitely one of my go-tos and sticking around, but generally they'd be on a little later in the afternoon. So I'd end up missing a lot of those because I would just be out of the house um, on some days. But
Fair enough.
Um, yeah, it was just kind of those were and then like I did have what channel was it at that point in time? It was probably channel 7 that I would get some of the Fox stuff. No, 7 was CBS. Fox might have been Fox was on a different channel. It might have been like 9 or something like that. Anyways, I did get Fox for a little bit, and I would catch that, and I'd get like what was on Fox? Was X-Men on Fox or was that WB?
That's a good question.
I feel like it was Fox.
Yeah, that feels like a Fox show. Yeah, yeah. Actually, yes, I can confirm
And the
Fox.
Spider-Man you'd get through Fox as well.
Fox, yep. Basically, the
Um,
comic, the '90s comic book shows were Fox. It
yeah.
seemed.
So on that note, did you have a like a satellite and you could see the guide, or did you have a TV guide like the paper book, or did you
Oh,
just know what the time block was no matter what?
at a certain point, I will say I picked it up pretty quick, but
Right.
my family did have like the TV guide. Like if we're talking like mid
Like the
'90s or
book?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
like mid
I
'90s,
we
early 2000s. Yeah.
we never had it too much. I think we had a couple of them, but I don't know. They would always be in my mom's chair, and I would just ignore them because I was like, I'm gonna watch whatever's on regardless.
Hmm.
Um, but it was always like, um, like when it's a show that actually had a storyline, it was like you'd watch that episode, and it would at the end of it, it's like, yeah, tune back next week for what's gonna happen here, and you're like, I know you're on next week because sometimes it would
Yeah.
show up and it would be like, well, next week we're actually watching this, and it's like, but why?
Yeah. I
was
mean,
Okay, so there's a question. Was there a show on that what you watched every week, and then it got changed to something else because it got moved bumped down the block or something like that, that you were like, what the fuck? What? Why? Like,
on
that screws up my entire morning.
so I have this particular memory that will stick with me till the very day that I die. In in third grade, I had to have surgery, and where both my legs was there was they were in two giant casts up to almost up to my groin, and they were connected by a bar. It was because
Right,
my ankles needed to be like a bone in my foot needed to be fused so I could walk properly and balance better.
right.
Um, and anyway, we won't get into that. We're here about TV. Anyway, I had uh, I had to get homeschooling. So because I was covered through the military, they they brought a teacher in to the house on base where we were living, and she would give me the homework and make sure that I was caught up on my lessons or whatever it was, tests,
Right.
you name
Yeah, he was.
it.
Yeah.
And the local affiliate, the fuckers, moved Power Rangers. They
Oh.
they bumped Power Rangers just
To a later
enough.
block?
Yeah, just enough to where I was in quote unquote class or school.
Oh no.
So, pardon my language, by the way, it still hurts. Um, but you know,
Couldn't watch Kimberly. What the fuck?
yeah, my little 8-year-old heart was broken. Or 9-year-old, whatever. Um, and it was I mean, the lady was really sweet. She would bring me candy and say, "How's your pain today? Are you doing better?" That kind of a thing.
Right,
She
right.
was
She
a
was
lovely
a
woman.
great teacher, but it was
Yeah.
still one of those things like those motherfuckers on that network changed your shit, so now you can't
Now,
watch your favorite fucking show.
now, one thing is, she knew I was a big Power Ranger fan, and Gesundheit. Um, and I'll keep the story quick. She knew I was a big Power Ranger fan. Gesundheit. And she would every now and again, if I did really, really well on that lesson, she would allow me to like go out for like quote unquote a break, and she would let me catch a
Recess, yeah.
snippet of that show. She would let me catch a snippet of Power Rangers or a snippet of whatever it was.
Right.
And so anyway, that was one time where I was like, you moved Power Rangers. How could you? This was my, you know,
Yeah.
even though
Yeah.
it's
Ah,
reruns, but
that would
still,
suck.
you know.
I I don't I don't think I can remember something getting moved. I could think of things not being on the air anymore, like what was the name of it? Dragon Boosters? Is that the name of that
Is
show?
that the one with the lasers? Dragonflies?
No, Dragon Boosters. It was like, or maybe it was Dragon Riders.
Uh, hmm.
No, I think it was Dragon Boosters. Anyways,
Okay.
it was a fantasy-esque think of it like Mighty Ducks.
Okay.
But they rode dragons
Oh, dude,
and
that's
fought
awesome.
and stuff on dragons and stuff
Mm,
like that. But it was like that same style animation as the Mighty Ducks, is from what I remember. I could be completely wrong, and not thinking of the same one, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But
okay.
my brain's telling me it was called Dragon Boosters.
Mm,
My computer is being crazy right now. What's happening? Oh, please don't freeze on me. Okay. All right. It kind of fixed itself, so I think we're okay. um, but yeah, that like I remember when that got, I don't know if it got canceled um or something, but that show I had just gotten started getting into it, and it got taken off the air. Um, yeah, it was called Dragon Booster. Um, 2004, 2006 is what its runtime. I guess it's not in the animation I was thinking of. What is that animation? Um, oh gosh. Um, it was like a cell shading. Um, yeah. Anyways, but yeah, it was a really good show. Um, so so out of all of the cartoon blocks, the Saturday morning cartoon blocks, um, give me your number one and your number two. Which ones do you think had the best blocks, specifically when you were in that, like, you know, I'll say from like 7 to 12 era of your life, kind of in there.
oh, Fox. Fox, hands down. Like,
Fox had the best block that you can think
because
of.
I. No, god damn it, so many good. Like, I loved the animation block for like Spider Man and X Men and like oh you said 12. Okay, so that kind of
It could be like this. I gave a pretty big block
yeah.
era because like at 12 things started changing, right? Like
Yeah.
we started watching a little more the mature stuff. So,
Yeah.
oh, the other shows that were in the same animation style, Stormhawks, Slug Terra, or Hot Wheels Battle Force 5. Same animation kind of style as
I want
Dragon
to say I
Booster.
recall the Hot Wheels one maybe.
The Hot Wheels one was great. Slug Terra was actually really cool. I'll have to show you that. Um, they fought with slugs that they loaded into these guns, and each slug did a different thing. Um,
Oh, cool.
I'll show it to you after the podcast. I'll make a
Okay.
note of it here.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I liked it.
So no, I'm gonna change my answer before we get too sidetracked. I gotta give it to WB then. If we're going that big of a range, I'll have to give it to WB.
I I can agree. So to think of everything WB had, because it had Batman, it
Yeah,
had Animaniacs, it had
Superman.
Superman, what's his name? Uh the fuck is the crazy guy who's a superhero from Animaniacs?
Freakazoid.
Freakazoid.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Pinky
Um
and the Brain. And
Pink, yeah, like I could completely agree. Those were one of my favorites to watch as at growing up. Like Animaniacs is by far, when it comes
still
to
holds
something that
up.
is still kid friendly but has a lot of adult references that you can understand that you probably had no idea about as a kid. Like there are so many history friggin' like pokes in Animaniacs that you're like,
Yeah.
as a kid you're like, hey, that's funny, but as an adult you're like, hey, that's deep and funny.
Yeah, yeah. Like, there was an episode that I watched recently because I was just popping something on while I was doing my coding stuff. Normally, like I said before the pod, I normally have Game Grumps in the background, but I was watching Animaniacs, um, and they were making a jab at Gorbachev. You know, Reagan and Gorbachev and the whole tear
Yep.
down the
And as a
president.
kid, you had no idea what that was.
Yeah, and now I was like, hey, this episode takes on a whole different meaning. What the heck? That's so good. So yeah,
Well, and yeah, it's one of those things. And then there's iconic things from Animaniacs that also happen, like the song of all the countries, because
yeah.
some of those countries aren't countries anymore. Like they've changed names or something.
Ron Gazoon
They've
type.
they've updated the song.
Yeah.
But they have updated the song, which is kind of funny. Um, but yeah, no, I could agree. WB had, because I had Batman, it's, like both regular Batman and Batman Beyond, it made that block continuing like to be great throughout a lot of it.
Even dare I
Um,
say we were a little older, but I still loved Static Shock.
oh yeah, like because they had DC, like so many good shows were on there that were either referenced to DC or something. You got so many good superheroes through WB, because didn't they? Was it WB that had Ninja Turtles for a while?
I want to say yes. That sounds right, but I'm not 100% sure on it, to be honest.
Because I know they're Nickelodeon now.
Yeah. Fun fact, one of the gentlemen that originally created the comic book
It
still
was it
owns.
was it was Fox.
Oh, okay.
Um, Wait, no, Ninja Turtles did not air on WB Network as a regular series, though they did have close connection. The 2003 series aired on the rival Fox Box or 4Kids TV block and Warner Brothers. Later acquired distribution rights for the first three seasons. So no, it wasn't. So what was it on when we were as a kid? Was it just Nickelodeon?
No, I remember it on Fox, or maybe. Do you remember? Do you remember the TV show? I know we're talking cartoons right now, but do you remember the show TMNT: The Next Mutation? And it had the girl turtle in like a turquoise color mask.
Uh, yes. That was a live action, right?
Yeah, it was like the movies we watched from the 90s, you know,
Yeah,
with the rubber suits.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so according to Google AI, it was aired on CBS, but it was primarily in syndication and then it moved to CBS, and then it moved to Red Sky,
I
which
don't.
was also CBS,
Hmm.
and then it moved to USA Network. Like, and then I don't know. It's moved around quite a bit. But yeah, Fox by the looks of it, briefly on Cartoon Network. So it just jumped around really is what it seems like. Anyways,
Okay.
okay. Which and I think I know the answer to this. Which block would you think was the most chaotic but still lovable?
I think Cartoon Network.
I was gonna say that, but I think Fox. Fox was chaotic because sometimes they'd have a lot of more what I would call mature shows, but then they'd sprinkle in like a younger age show in there, and you're like, "What are you doing? Like, why is that in this mix? Like, what's happening?"
Yeah. And that's kind of why I personally picked, at least if we're talking early years, that's why I picked Cartoon Network.
Yeah, you want to know what other one I enjoyed was PBS. And this I would say this might be a hot take, but it's really not. PBS because it was purely um an educational based set of shows, you got some really cool things. So the Krat brothers had Krat's Creatures, which was huge. I don't know if everyone's seen it, but Krat's Creatures was phenomenal. And then you got Zoom, and Zoom was great. And then you've got Arthur, and who doesn't like Arthur? Um, and
Fucking
then there was
DW
like
though, man.
and then you got other things like what was it called? Fetcherman or whatever.
Oh
Um
yeah,
yeah,
rough.
yeah, with with Fetch Rufferman or whatever his name was.
Yeah,
But it was like a game show for kids, you
yeah.
know? And then I grew up with YTV, so I got things like Uh-oh and stuff like that as well, which was just people getting slimed.
Nice. Uh,
Do you know what Uh-oh is?
no, no, that's
So it is literally like a kids trivia show where if you got a wrong answer, you got a bucket of slime dumped on you.
so. Is it kind of like I know it's not the same, but is it kind of like Double Dare in a way?
Almost, yeah. I think Double Dare had a little more physicality to it though. Didn't they have little like foot challenges to do in Double Dare?
I know in the end, like at the end of the episode, like they had the family or the kid go through like that obstacle course.
Yeah, see the Uh-oh didn't have this. It was purely like trivia based stuff. Um and like you'd spin a wheel to see how many points you would win or money or whatever. Um and then if you got the wrong answer, you'd get a bucket dumped on you of just pure slime.
Oh, okay.
It was good though. But it was that was a after school kind of show though, usually. It was on just as I got home from school on YTV, I think. Anyways, what name two shows that you watched only and purely because they were between the two good shows that you were trying to watch.
Easy. Jumanji. The cartoon
You didn't
Jumanji.
wait, did you not like it?
I liked it, but I watched it waiting to get to the show that I was looking forward to. If that makes
Oh,
sense. Like I liked it a lot.
it does.
But I
Yeah.
it wasn't the one that I was waiting for. If
As weird as it is, I think the one for me, and it's a phenomenal show, and I enjoyed watching it, but it wasn't my go-to. And I said a different show earlier, which was also another one, but this one, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
yeah,
Um,
that was a good
Great,
show.
awesome show, but it
Yeah.
was on between two shows, and I never. I was like, if I were going to like make a snack or something like that, that show would be when I did it.
Makes sense. I mean, yeah.
um Okay. All right. So name name your three shows for your Saturday morning block that if they weren't on, you didn't watch.
If for whatever reason Goosebumps wasn't on,
Hmm.
or I wouldn't want to watch, if any of the
Was Goosebump on in the mornings or was it
for
an evening
me
show?
for me it was Saturday morning on Fox.
Really?
For me,
I I I thought it was a Saturday at like it's like 6 o'clock. It was on kind of thing.
it was Saturday mornings on Fox for me.
Okay, okay. YTV must have been different because I'm pretty sure it was like I watched it at like 7 o'clock or something like that before bed kind of thing. Because both Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark would be back to back.
No, Are You Afraid of the Dark for me was also an afternoon even or an evening show on do you remember the block called Snick at Night?
No.
SNICK. Okay. So Snick was this when Nickelodeon was trying to do like this more like tween young teen demo and
Oh, okay.
get those kids to watch. So there was a lot of like for I recall Keenan and Kel being on there. Uh,
Okay, yeah,
they
yeah, yeah.
had
Just that
Melissa
that
Joan
that
Hart and
yeah, that teen block. Yeah,
Clarissa.
yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
Are You Afraid of the Dark? I recall being on Snick. It could be my memory, failing me, but I
Right.
specifically remember Snick on Saturday evenings. Or I mean,
Okay.
sorry, Are You Afraid of the Dark on Saturday evening?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark were definitely a an evening shows for me. Um, was there anything else like if Power Rangers wasn't on, you just weren't watching?
So, I would say if the Saban to just lump it up because I was a big Saban fan, like
Okay.
the Power Rangers, the VR Trooper,
Beetleborgs. Yeah, yeah. That
Beetleborgs, Master Rider.
anything that
So
had morphing kind of stuff in it.
essentially anything with Japan giant rubberized monsters, like if there wasn't anything for whatever reason, I was just like, I'll wait till next week and hope that it's on.
I'm trying to think of shows that if I think yeah, I'm trying to think if I couldn't tune into probably like a Darkwing Duck in the morning or Recess. If
Oh,
Recess wasn't
so
on, I
good.
wasn't watching.
Okay.
Um and Gargoyles when it was on.
Mm.
That was early on though.
Yep.
And I'm trying to think. Maybe Digimon or Pokemon as well. If they weren't on, then I probably wasn't watching. Oh, and Beyblades and Metabots. Metabots, yeah.
That was one of the shows. Pokemon, as much fun as we make Digimon better, Pokemon for me was a saving grace because I moved every year and a half to 2 years when I was a kid.
Right.
And literally different cities, different towns. I didn't know anybody. The saving grace, I could always find the channel with Pokemon.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel so alone. Um,
Yeah. I see. I didn't obviously I didn't move around. I was in the same house until I moved out when I was 16. But it was one of those things that like yeah I'd always tune in usually for either Pokemon, but more so Digimon. Um, they were usually on almost back to back anyway.
mm-hmm.
But normally I feel like I caught Digimon way more than I did Pokemon for obvious reasons because it's just better than Pokemon.
Right.
But yeah, yeah, that's probably where I was. Okay, so out of all of the shows in a good Saturday morning block, what was here's a hot take. What was the better theme song? Was it one from one of the shows, or was it the theme song for that block? Do you remember the ABC Saturday
Yeah.
morning cartoon like theme
We'll be
song with the
right back, and it showed like
yeah,
the
there
little
was
dog with the
yeah,
little.
but even the intro. Do you remember the intro where it was like you'd see it coming into like the big complex and it would go through and you'd see all of your different characters and inside and there'd be like a plane flying by. Like, do you remember all of that?
Oh yeah, those were epic. But
Yeah.
for me, one of the shows, one of the that would always like I got. It's gonna be cliche as fuck, so bear with me, and I'll probably lose some credit in
You're
your
gonna
eyes.
say Pokemon.
No, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon,
It's
Dragon,
huge.
Rock the Dragon.
Huge. Mine is probably X-Men, to be honest.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
there was nothing like turning on your TV and then being on that channel because the odd time that I was on whatever channel Fox was on, you'd hear the and you're like,
Na, na,
fucking
na.
X-Men's
Sorry,
on, and you
I had to
just book it to
finish.
the TV like
Yeah, yeah,
like that brought me in so quick. like it's one thing to be like, I want to be the very best and hear that come on and you're like, yeah, Pokemon's on, okay. But it was one of those ones like if you heard that, you're like, okay, I got a couple minutes, I can finish up making my cereal or whatever and get in there and watch the beginning of
yeah,
Pokemon. But like if X-Men was on, fuck the cereal.
yeah.
Like
Understood.
it can wait. I will watch X-Men and go back after. Like,
Good part about Dragon Ball Z, he's still powering up. About 20 minutes later, I can finish
oh yeah,
lunch.
yeah. You,
I
all you had
can,
to do is watch the intro, watch the first little bit, and go. All right, he's gonna power up for about 20 minutes until the end of this episode. So I'm gonna go make food. I'll listen to the conversation. I know exactly where they're standing and what they're doing.
exactly. Ha ha!
Yeah. All you hear is keep holding him, Goku.
Yeah, yeah. Best time to finish,
Hurry up,
sandwiches.
Piccolo. Come on.
Yeah, yeah. Leave my dad alone. Gohan's all like crying in the corner. Um,
Yep. Um yeah, I would yeah, for me X-Men was really the one that I would say like most one of the most iconic theme songs. There's a lot of iconic theme songs, but that was the one that really like amped you up for good morning cartoons. Like
Power Rangers too, man. Power Rangers as well, dude.
yeah, yeah. Honestly, just turning on the channel or something like that. Like sometimes my brother would be the one to turn it on, and I'd be in the kitchen or whatever, and like it would be like mid episode of like a Power Rangers, but you hear their morpher or communicator go off, and you're like, "Is that Power Rangers?"
Yeah, yeah. Be right there.
Okay. Next talking point here is best cliffhangers. What show would leave the best cliffhangers?
Okay, I gotta tip my hat to Batman. Um,
Yeah.
cause like when the rare time that they did a cliffhanger, you knew it was for a good reason, and you knew it
Yeah.
was gonna be.
I would say there was a lot of superhero things like Mighty Ducks had some crazy cliffhangers. Like anything with superheroes always had like when it's that two-part episode and it like leaves off and he's like hanging over the edge of the building or hanging on to something and you're like, shit, is he gonna fall? Or, something like, or is he gonna let that guy go? Like, what's
Yeah,
gonna happen? Like some of those, yeah, I completely agree. Batman had a couple big ones for some of his two-part stuff. I think there was one where like the train was heading somewhere and it like they had like broken the rails or something like that. Like that shit, like, and then they're like, next time on Batman, and you're like, fuck off! Like, what are you doing?
yeah. That's when the bomb only has 40 seconds left, and you've got to call Carl Winslow and the guy from the Goonies. Hey, no,
You just want me to do it again.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not doing
Ah, no,
it.
so anyway, no, but yeah, Spider-Man had a good one too. Spider-Man had a good one too.
Spider-Man always had good ones because he was always hanging around.
Oh, that's too
Actually,
good.
I'm pretty sure it was real. I saw a new trailer for Spider-Man today. For the new Tom Holland Spider-Man.
That's
It's called
his
a
last
new
one,
day.
right? That's his officially last one.
That's what they're saying, but yeah, it's that it's like the Spider-Man 3 kind of feeling where he's like going through this weird transitional kind of stage after he's wiped everyone's memories, right? And then he
Mm.
starts from the what I gathered from the trailer is he's he's his body is mutating and he's got to try and figure out what's happening kind of thing. And he even goes to like Bruce Banner's in it. Um, and he goes and Bruce is like, "Who are you?"
Fair enough.
But yeah, it's just one of those things. Like I'm like, hey, a new Spider-Man movie. Excuse me, that'll be pretty good. It looks really interesting. It seems darker. Which is what I think Spider-Man 3 with Toby was supposed to be, but
He started
it didn't
shaking
turn
his
out
groove
great.
thing. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, yeah.
But it's got Punisher in it.
Mm.
What's his name? Is
John
reprising his role as
Bernthal.
Punisher. Yeah, yeah. So
Nice.
um, that makes me think that they're doing another season of Punisher if he's reprising his role. Because why would they just have him reprise his role if they weren't going to give him another season, right?
Yep.
But who knows? We'll see what happens. Blade's supposed to also get his own TV show too, and I would like to see that.
With is it with Marshall Ali or
That's what rumors were, but it was also uh what's his name? Snipes was also talking about like he would like to reprise his role as well from the original. So they might do a crossover and have Blade meet Blade.
that would be I would
I'd
be
I'd
down
be
for that.
I would be down to see old Blade meet new Blade, and I'd be like, this is really fucking cool. But who knows whether they want to, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully it gets made. But anyways, off topic. Those are kind of cliffhangers as well. This is our own cliffhanger. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens in the next coming years.
Next
Um,
time on Peripheral Rewind. No.
okay, so we're gonna move on to weird fillers. Um, were there were there any shows that really weren't great, but you watched still like most of it, like 40 episodes of the whole thing where they're like you're really like this show really isn't that good, but it's got me hooked enough that I'm
You
watching
want
it.
to see where it's done? Yeah.
Yeah, like I as weird as it is, like as good as of a show as it was, things like Erie and Indiana, um, were like that. I'm like overall like not that well done of a show, but it was like I really want to see what the next episode has about this next thing because like they dropped the hints of what the show would be about kind of thing like the next episode. But I think the opening episode of that show was the Jackalope one, right?
That sounds right. I'm not 100% on it.
But yeah, shows like that, like it was a good show, and I watched a lot of it, but it really wasn't that great of a show.
This wasn't a kids show, but one that got me kind of hooked like that was the first season of the the one with Kevin James, like after
King of Queens.
no, the one after King of Queens, the one where he married, like he was, I think it was called Kevin Can Wait or something, or
Oh,
it was one of his
is that
more
what it's called?
recent ones where the first wife ironically got replaced by Leah Remini. they were trying to. It
Yeah,
only
yeah,
lasted like
yeah,
2 seasons or something.
yeah. He plays Kevin Gable,
There you go.
and
Yeah,
it was
that.
Aaron Hayes plays his wife, and he has a kid named James or Jack. Anyways, um,
Yeah, that was the
I
show
I
for
I
me.
never I never watched it. I think I probably caught a bit of an episode, but that was a reason, like not recent, but that was a 2016 was when that started. So I
Oh,
wasn't
it
watching
was
a lot of
just a,
TV in 2016.
it was just a show where like it was awful, but I'm like, but it kind of hooked me in a way where I was like, where's this
Because it
gonna
was
go? How are
yeah,
they
it was
gonna?
that sitcom that would just kind of pull you in just enough,
Mm,
you know?
barely even pulled me in. It was like, that old saying, you're watching a fiery car wreck and you can't look away. That kind of a thing.
Right.
I wanted to see where that car wreck was gonna explode into a fiery ball of death.
Just one of those, how long is this marriage going to last?
Yeah, because as a thick man, no disrespect to Kevin James, but the guy or the lady they got to play his wife, ain't no way, my dude, ain't no way, unless he's playing Kevin Gable, the multimillionaire oil baron, or Kevin Gable.
Yeah, but so it's this. My thing is to look at that show. It's kind of just a continuation of King of Queens because like she's with him in King of Queens because he was like a football player and she was a cheerleader or something like that if I remember correctly. Whereas this one like he's like a retired police officer or something like that.
Mm,
Like because as bad as this sounds, and this is probably just stereotypes being stereotypes, but like that's the shit that you see in that kind of thing. So like the football guy always has a hot cheerleader girlfriend, or the police officer always has a hot badge bunny wife, like it's just that's
yeah,
the TV show stereotypical thing that you see. I'm not saying that's real life, but I'm saying like that's the TV show
dynamic.
standardization.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems to be what they do. Um,
But Erin Hayes
yeah,
got shafted, dude. She was a great character in that show, and no, not just because she's gorgeous. She actually held her own, and they were
right.
trying to recapture the King of Queens shit so bad, and there was a little bit of
Yeah,
like stuff behind the scenes with the show where herself and Kevin James weren't getting along. Um,
right,
and
right.
so they were like,
Yeah,
okay,
there's
bring in Leah Remini, King of Queens it up, baby.
yeah, and then
Anyway,
it's
it,
you
it died.
realize you at that yeah it died. It only lasted 2 years, so
Yeah.
um, just like their marriage.
Damn, got him.
um, yeah, I don't know of that many shows that pulled me in like that. Um, as bad as this thing that you reminded me, like Everybody Loves Raymond is a great show, but it never pulled me in enough. But I have seen a lot of it, you know, like
I feel like I feel like season 4 was top tier of that show because the
right,
first 3 seasons it felt like they were kind of trying to feel their way. Season 4 it felt like they came into their own, and then
right,
season 5 onward I was like, all right, so when's this gonna be over? Okay, cool.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so next point here, um, bizarre animations and strange plots. What morning cartoon did you watch that you're like, well, this is a weird, very weird animation style to do?
But ugly Martians.
That you thought that was the 3D animation style was weird to do for that style of cartoon?
Yeah, yeah. Um, I think
I
it would
I
have been better served as a 2D.
yeah, but I don't know if you could get the how ugly they really were in the 2D. So I can agree, but at the same time, but I think it was good for it. It was bizarre, 100%, but I think it was good for that specific thing. But no, that makes sense though. Um, I've got a show called Sticking Around, being a Canadian, which literally is like hand drawn, like stick figures, is the way that the whole show is. To the point that it even like the way you know how like when you make
I'm
your
gonna
own
pause real.
uh
I don't know if I can pause, but uh, I have to go to the restroom so bad. I've been holding it since 20 minutes in. Um,
why didn't you go before we started?
I didn't know I had to go. I just. Okay, guys, hold
Uh,
on. Bathroom intermission. Can you sing for them or
from
something?
from
Uh,
did you should be able to pause that.
no, it just says stop recording. Um,
All right. I can entertain them, I guess.
okay, I'm gonna mute my mic so you guys don't hear the splish splooshes.
Next time I'm gonna be like, all right, ready for to do a podcast? Bladder check. um yeah, anyways, so I'm pretty sure he can hear me the whole time. So um but yeah, Sticking Around was the bizarre animation. Um it it was like if you make a flip book style animation. It actually even had some of like the stutter kind of feel to it. It was a really good show. It was about two kids just doing kid stuff. But then, they'd make a giant robot and destroy the town kind of thing, and they'd get into shenanigans and stuff like that. That was a really good animation. Um Bizarre and strange plots is really what it had, which is really what this talking point is about. I'm trying to think if there was any others. um I don't know if there was, in that sense, that like that's one of the most bizarre styles, but it was such a good show. um just the things that they would get into, and that it was just like they just didn't care about, like it was well done, obviously, in the sense that it was like a good show, but it was, yeah. I'm trying to think of any other bizarre animation styles. There's so many that are good because like growing up through the 90s, like that the animation really is awesome through the 90s. Like that's really when they got really good animations, of stuff. You could look at things like Gargoyles or Recess. Like all that animation style was phenomenal and crisp. Because Disney was just really like their animators were top tier, um, and stuff. So I'm just trying to think if there's any other weird, bizarre animation styles. I don't think there really were. I have a list of shows here. Let's see. Um, oh, he's coming back. He got speed. Um,
Indeed, a need for speed. I thought of another show that had weird animation, but it was a great show. You might agree with Ed, and
what's
Eddie,
that?
the squiggly line
So
effect.
so that's what Sticking Around was, but even worse. Like it wasn't as polished because it was stick figures, with shirts and clothing on, but it was the same idea. I was thinking about that as well. Like it it was very similar to how Ed and Eddie was. Um because there were other things like Pepper Ann had the same kind of thing as Ed and Eddie, squiggly lines and stuff like that. Um, Pepper Ann, sorry, yeah, Pepper Ann. That's what I was thinking of. Um, The problem is like the animation through the '90s was just so top tier. Um, like talk about crisp friggin'
Mm.
stuff, you know? Because you could
Super
even look at
crystal
older,
clear.
yeah, and you could even look at older things. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and or Inspector Gadget and the Ghostbusters.
Yep.
Technically, they were late '80s, weren't they?
The
So
Ghostbusters was the movies were 80s. I know that. I don't. I thought the animation
I
was
thought
early 90s. I could be I'm
Ghostbusters. June. No, 1986 for the original cartoon. We're talking like the old one where they had a fucking gorilla with them.
Oh, okay.
The real Ghostbusters was even 84
Oh, is that
because
the
it was
one
a
that I'm
spin.
talking about? Okay.
The Yeah, that was the one that actually had Slimer and stuff in it.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Um, that was 86, 87.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah. Because it was supposed to be a like a sequel to the original film.
Oh. No, I didn't know that. It was supposed to be a sequel.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting. Interesting.
Um, yeah, yeah. Just it was so good. Um, that's not the button I wanted. Um, this is the button I wanted. There we go. But yeah. Okay. Next thing is oh, different air times we've talked about. Let's talk about the TGIF stuff. So that bracket obviously was on for me. I think it was ABC that ran TGIF.
Yeah, that checks. That's what did it down here as well.
Yeah, so tuning into that, we got what Boy Meets World, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Step by Step. What
Family
else? There
Matters,
was Family Matters. There's so many others. So we got
Full
You
House,
Wish and Teen Angel. Full House, was Full House on there for me? Yeah, probably. There was something else that was on there too that was a big show. Was Brotherly Love on TJIF?
was it?
I don't
I
know.
know it. Is that the one with the Lawrence brothers that you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not a
yeah.
100%. I want to say yes, because it seems like they did like a crossover episode or something.
Oh, okay. Dinosaurs was on there.
Yeah.
Two of a Kind, which was the Mary Kate and Ashley one. I
Is that
literally
the
just looked it up.
one? Is that the one where they were like fresh out of like essentially fresh out of their uh Full House run?
Yeah,
Or
1998 is when it says. So
okay, so
yeah,
yeah, they
that was
were.
yeah. What else do we have? Sister Sister.
Okay. I love that show.
Um,
I just don't recall it being part of the
yeah.
block.
Clueless. Clueless was part of the block. I remember that.
Yeah, it had Donald Faison from Scrubs, right?
Yeah.
The
Um,
the
Apparently there was a show called Just the Ten of Us at some point.
that's some
That was
kinky.
early. That was early on in the
Mm,
TJF bracket. The Muppets Tonight Show was part of TJF. That was when you
that's
got like the more adult Muppets.
it had like prints and stuff on it and things like that, right?
Yeah, it was full on like a late show kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, what else do we have? Camp Wilder. There's a bunch of other things.
Mm.
Let's see what else do we have? Are there other? I don't know. Yeah, so Full House was there. Technically, 2020 is considered part of the TGIF
Oh,
block because it
come
was on at
on.
10 o'clock.
Oh, come
Yeah, that
on.
was it. It held the 10 to 11 block technically for that was part of the ABC Friday night block.
Okay.
Um,
What kind of bullshit?
so
Um,
Perfect Strangers.
that one I vaguely recall because I think that ended when our memories were forming. Uh,
It was on for from 89 to 91. Um,
see,
and then Baby
91.
Talk was awesome.
How old were we in 91?
3.
Yeah, so yeah, that, yeah.
Um, so the block we probably remember is obviously that Family Matters, Boy Meets World, Step by Step, and Hanging with Mr. Cooper or Sister Sister
Yeah.
block, because those switched back and forth. Um, and then there was the Family Matters, Boy Meets World, oh no, Clueless, Sabrina, yeah. Boy Meets World kept the one block for like a good few years. There was Two of a Kind that were mixed in there after Full House ended. Um, what else? Odd Man Out was in there.
I don't remember
The
that
Hu-
one.
the
Odd man out.
Huleys. Making the Band was in there. Do you remember that show?
That is ringing a bell, I think. I'll have to
That
look at a clip to
yeah,
see
that was
what.
like it was a boy band thing. It spawned things like O Town and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, yeah, okay, I remember. Yeah, 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 okay. Because I remember O
Yeah,
Town.
yeah. Oh,
They were
apparently
part of.
2020 still holds that block. It's actually become longer.
I didn't even know
They
they
hold it.
still had it.
2020 is still on TV and holds a 2-hour block now. The ABC Friday nights right now, apparently, according to this, is Shark Tank and then 2020.
How far they've fallen. Good God. What the fuck, man? Um,
You know what I just remembered? Which show I haven't thought of in a long time, and I'm sure we've talked about it in a different episode. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, um, there's American Gladiator.
yeah, my dad.
We used to
It was
watch
my
that.
dad's episode that we talked about that too, didn't
Yeah,
we?
I think so. But it was part of what block was that part of? Was that the afternoon block, like that 2 or 3 o'clock block?
If you don't mind, I
Because
want to derail you just for 1 second. I'm sorry, but that
I'm already
reminded.
we're derailing a derailing here.
Uh, I I just wanted to interject because we brought up my dad's episode. I told him that it was our most highly viewed full on episode, and now he's got a big head about it. He's like, "Man, you guys need me more often." He's all like, "I'm sorry to outshine you." um,
Oh gosh.
you know,
Jeez.
I just
That's
wanted to let
funny.
you know he's got a super big head about it now. So
Hey, after last night, him walking into the room and knowing exactly what we were
you talked
talking
about
about. Like
yeah, yeah.
well, I won't bring it up on here, but it was hilarious.
You're welcome to. I'm
Um
sure he won't mind. And my aunt
well
ain't
no,
gonna
because
watch this.
she might.
No,
What if I send it to her? No, just kidding.
that'd be hilarious as fuck. I'd love that
Figure out
actually.
who she is.
Yeah, yeah. I'll give you her address.
Okay, let's put this train back on the tracks here. So, um, obviously we're in two different countries. So obviously we have two different things. So obviously I have like YTV, which is completely different blocks because it was its own network specifically for Canada. So it pulled shows from a lot of different things and different um, networks really. So it was one of those things that like it had so much going on for it.
Mm.
Um so like here's I brought it up. Here's some of the blocks that we had. So we had Nickelodeon Sundays, we had the Vault, we had the B Zone, we had Toontown Alley, we had Vortex, we had Crunch, we had Bionics. Like there were so many. There was Nick Jr., there was Treehouse, which Nick Jr. and Treehouse ended up becoming like their own channels as well. I think Treehouse is still on or was on. I don't remember. Um, but yeah, there was that kind of stuff. There's the Zone, which the Zone has been going on since 1991. And that's the primary block that I remember watching, obviously. Um, and I wish it would give me shows. But what I enjoyed about YTV is we had a host. There was like
Oh,
that
okay.
the blocks would have the host would come in and do something funny or stupid or say or just whatever just to introduce. It was almost like listening to like a radio broadcast, you
Hmm.
know, where you get the DJ that would come on. I guess these were VJs, video jockeys, that would jump in and say blah blah blah. Up next is Digimon or whatever, and then
Yep.
it would roll to the next show. And like my favorite out of all of them, there was a guy named Carlos. He was the shit. He was funny. He was like just yeah. It was just one of those things. Like um, yeah, he was definitely one of the. And he because YTV was filmed in Toronto. Um, like he's from Burlington, you know, so he's a local Ontario guy. But yeah,
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah, I wish I could see what was aired then. That'd be great. Okay, I just pulled up a list here. So we got the obvious shows like Are You Afraid of the Dark, Beast Wars, but we had Reboot. We had the Red Green Show was on there. I don't know if you know what that is, but
Oh, I do. Yes.
that's a very Canadian show.
You showed that
Um,
to me
J-
as like my get ready to move to Canada pack.
if you
Uh,
don't have duct tape, you're fucked.
fair, you know.
Jacob Tutu was on there. Ruby Gloom. Obviously, we had Dexter, that like Dexter's Lab. Sonic X was on that. We had Rupert, which I think was a British show originally. We had Grossology. Did you ever watch that? I think that's a
Grossology
Cartoon
I've heard
Network.
of, but I
Yeah, it
don't
was really
recall
good.
much of it to be honest.
Scaredy Squirrel, we had that. Babar.
Babar
Uh,
sounds
it's a
no,
very
no, that was one of my
it
uncles. No,
um but yeah, like we had lots of shows um on there. Many shows. Um let's see, what else do we have? But like there was lots of shows. I wish it would give me shows that were only aired in Canada, but it just gives me everything. We had things like Dark Oracle on there at one point, which is a Canadian show. Um, Big Wolf on Campus.
I've heard of that one.
Um, yeah. So we had game shows like Uh-Oh and Zoinked and Video and Arcade Top 10. Did you ever watch that? That was a good show. Um,
I'll be honest, I don't I don't think so, but we've hung out for so long and we've known each other so long and we've showed each other so many things that it feels like I watched it.
yeah.
But I'll genuinely be honest, I don't think I did when I was a kid. I think you may have shown it to me like a little
What about
snippet.
Captain Flamingo?
No, no, that one definitely not.
It was a kid whose his superhero persona was Captain Flamingo, so he had a big flamingo costume he'd put on. We had Kid versus Cat, phenomenal show, funny as hell. I'm trying to find stuff that's older. Monster by Mistake. Um, Shadow Riders. Ooh, Shadow Riders. I haven't thought of that show in a while. Or Raiders, sorry, not Riders. Yeah, there was lots. The thing is I know most of the shows that you watched,
Yeah.
because I got almost all of them.
Right.
That's the so
Right.
the as bad as it is, the difference up here, um, so because the U.S. dominates in a lot of entertainment, our radio stations and TV stations have a specific percentage that they have to play of Canadian content. So we see the Canadian content, as long
Mm,
as it's good, obviously. But we also get dumped with so much American content that it kind of overshadows. And down there, you don't have standards like that where you have to air so much percentage of US content because majority of the content is US content.
right.
So the odd time you'll get a sprinkle of some Canadian content, um, that just happens to be that good. Um,
Right.
so
Don't
Viva
worry.
Pinata, Viva Viva, yada yada
I was
yada.
sorry. I was kind of trying to look at some shows that maybe you didn't get, but then you got everything. So I was like, no, you got that too. So,
Yeah. Um, what about Avon of the Yukon? Have you ever watched that one?
no, that one, no, no.
It was a weird one. He was it takes place in the Yukon, so it's all snow and ice and stuff like that. But Avon is a weird, very eccentric individual. But he's always wearing his long John style shirt and
Yep.
underwear. That's what he wears.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, he was a French explorer who embarks on a voyage to North America on behalf of King Louis, um, and he goes far off his intended course into the frigid waters of Canada's northern coast. And his boat strikes an iceberg. He is then cryogenically frozen in a block of ice for 300 years until a sled dog owned by a Nook teenager, Tommy, urinates on it and thaws him out.
Sounds like a party to me, man. Uh,
Yeah, so um, he lives in a town called Up Your Muckluck in the Yukon. It is the hottest cold town in the Arctic.
that sounds like an insult to your mother. Up your muckluck, motherfucker.
um, it's that town is midway between Shiver Me Timbers and Frostbottom
Mm,
Falls. Yeah, good old Up Your Buckluck. Anyways, it was a funny show. Funny show.
fair enough. Sounds good. I'll have to check it out though, if I can
Ooh,
find
you
it.
know what? Another good show. I think it was a PBS show. Wishbone.
Dude, oh, bro. Okay. Now we can talk to. Okay, I love fucking Wishbone. I. Okay, so do you remember? It was one of the earlier episodes where the human kid, I forget his name, was like cheating on math or not doing well in math and considering like cheating on math or something, his
Right.
math test. And then Wishbone ends up talking about like Machiavellian philosophy and like some bullshit. I'm like, how does a little rat terrier know about these things? Now that I'm
He's read
old,
all the books.
you know, fair, fair.
I I'm more interested in watching this rat terrier just in the library,
Yeah.
watching him like flip pages in a book.
And he doesn't have opposable thumbs, so
Yeah.
like more power to
Like
him.
he gets it, like gets the book off the shelf with his nose or with his paw,
Yeah,
and then like it just lands on the ground, and he just like he like flips it open, and then like scrunches all the pages to the
yeah,
first
yeah.
page and starts reading it.
And then by the time he returns it back to the library and somebody else,
It's all shredded
yeah,
and
they're
drooling.
they're like, "What the hell happened?" Oh, that's just Wishbone. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah. The library's like, yeah, we have a whole section of books Wishbone's read. It's that one. If you don't want a crusty, ripped up book, don't go over there.
Yep. And it's all the
As soon as
literary
Wishbone reads it, we
classics.
just order an. As soon as he checks out a book,
Yeah,
we just order another copy of it just to replace it when that one comes back.
fair. Yeah.
My favorite, I think, episode of that I can remember off the top of my head is the uh there's both the Rumpelstiltskin one,
Mm,
and he plays Rumpelstiltskin, which I found hilarious.
of course.
At least I think he does. And then there's
Yeah.
the oh, why can't I think Rip Van Winkle, the guy who fell asleep at the up the mountain and woke up 100 years later. But he went up the hill, and he was bowling with a bunch of um gods, essentially, that got him like super super drunk, and he fell asleep and woke up 100 years later or something. Do you remember that one?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
You're really
But
digging on some old brain cells there. Kind of.
as bad as it is, I watched that episode with my kids not that long ago.
Oh, okay. So you're cheating. You're
Yeah.
involved. You have a reason to dig up your
I
all
say
your
not that
awesome
long
stuff.
ago. It was still 8 or 9 months ago, at least, if
Oh,
not
okay,
more.
okay, okay.
But
All right,
it
all
was a
right.
while. Like it wasn't like I did it
Yeah,
like 3 weeks ago.
fair enough.
Which, by the way, my family is on the ground. They have landed. They are back in this country.
Congratulations. So without giving too much detail, how was their vacation? How was
They seemed like they had fun. I haven't seen a lot or any photos or anything because the resort that they were at was their internet was terrible, so they
Oh,
didn't
okay.
send me a lot of photos. Like, and I started to get honestly really annoyed because my conversations with them were under 5 minutes most of the time on a day because the internet was just that shitty. So
Okay, so that's why you were just kind of vibing out, and when they checked in, they could check in. Gotcha.
yeah, exactly. Anyways, just for people to know, my mother-in-law took my wife and kids on a vacation down to the Dominican Republic, and they had lots of fun. Um, and I didn't go because um I was invited, but also
Damn, dude.
my mother-in-law, from what I've understood, I think my mother-in-law owed my wife a trip, and she decided to bring the kids as well, because they were March break. So
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
yeah. Anyways, okay. Moving forward, it is time for our game.
Our game.
Um,
Woo! Let's go.
so the game tonight is we are going to build our ideal lineups, like
Okay.
power morning block. So we're gonna build four altogether.
Okay.
So we're gonna do a winter block,
Okay.
and a summer block, but we're gonna do both a Saturday morning cartoon block and a TGIF evening block
Okay.
for each of those.
All right.
General rule is we were discussing it earlier that we can't just make a 4 show block that is like top tier all 4 things. So we need to have like that opening show, which in my opinion, the opening show is something that like you want to see, but if you miss some of it, you're not really that worried about
Devastated
it.
by it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And then there's the anchor, which is really the main show you're there for.
yeah.
Um, and then there's something usually on between that and the last show that you want to watch.
Sure.
Um, so there's the wild card, which is that weird fun show in the middle, and then the last one, which is your closer, which is like the last show you've wanted to watch before you
Yeah.
turn it off and either go back to playing video games or go to bed or go back to bed or do whatever.
Sure.
Before your day really begins or ends if it's the your end block.
Okay.
Um, okay, so uh I will let you go first. Let's start with the winter blocks because the summer blocks are going to be the best shows.
Hmm.
The winter blocks, let's look at those. Like it's the slow time of the year. We're right around that Christmas era time. Um,
And
Generally, as bad as it is, I think TV, as bad as it is, sucked during the winter. The
yeah.
summer always had the best stuff, but it sucked because like you'd get up in the morning and be gone through the summer doing stuff. So
And
you never got to watch a lot of it.
just to clarify as well, folks, just because we're using the moniker TGIF, we don't necessarily have to pull from just purely ABC based shows. Just
Yeah,
to
so these yeah, any just like last week's episode where we could pull heroes or characters from anywhere. They didn't
Carl
have to be
Winslow's.
superheroes and stuff. um like I I think it's a fair for us to pull from any shows. So it could be it's our ideal block and then kind of explain why it's our ideal block. And it could be
Yeah.
anything. So let's start with the TGIF style block during the winter.
Okay. I would put Scrubs because I love Scrubs. I know you don't jam with
Oh,
it.
obviously this is OG Scrubs, not new
Not the new
Scrubs.
one. Fuck that child. I'm so oh why did they
No
make them
spoilers.
break up?
No spoilers.
Okay. Okay. All
I'm
right.
kidding. I'm not gonna
No. All
watch it.
right.
If anybody else is watching it, plug your ears because he's probably about to spoil something.
OG Scrubs. OG Scrubs would be my beginning show because
Okay, because
while
it was good enough that you wanted to see it, but
yeah
if you missed some of it, it really didn't matter.
yeah because as much of a comfort show as it is for me, I feel like it's one of those shows where it's awesome enough to where it does have an overall storyline, but you could still hop in and still enjoy it because of the slapstick
Right.
humor and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Now my middle show, the middle
Your
in
anchor.
between my anchor
Yep.
would be uh the New Adventures of Lois and Clark, with Terry Hatcher and Dean Cain,
Okay. Okay. I didn't see that coming, but yeah. Okay.
because I really enjoy it, and I think it's a strong enough show where it can stand on its own. And man, Terry Hatcher back in the day, good stuff.
Right. So okay. Are we building this? I guess are we building this from the eyes of us younger or from the eyes of us now? Just
Well,
what we would
I'll
want.
be honest, I'm doing it from the eyes of now, because
Okay.
I'm looking back through all the shows I've watched and what I
Right.
would have loved to have seen.
So you're building it in the eyes of you now, but if you were watching it then?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm okay. I'm in agreement. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, the new adventures of Superman, or sorry, the New Adventures of Lois and Clark. That would be the one that would be in the middle there because I really want to watch
Yep.
that one. And then the one that
That'd be
would
the main one.
yeah, and then the one that would
Okay.
end it, the end cap show for me, America's Funniest
Wait,
Home
there's a what?
Video.
There's a wild card. Is that the wild card?
The wild card would
That's
be
the in,
America's Funniest Home Videos, the seasons with Bob Saget. None of this new.
I like the Tom Bergeron stuff as well.
Okay.
He was good in that. Not all the way through, but like the first few seasons once they've switched over to Tom Bergeron, um AFE was pretty good.
Okay. Okay. I'll be honest. I
But
didn't
yes, you're
really
right.
watch a
Bob
whole
Saget
lot
was the
of.
best.
So yeah, I would choose the Bob Saget era because
Yep.
I'm like I said, I'm picking it now, but what I would have liked to have watched, you know,
Then. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, that would be my winner block there.
You have one more.
Um,
You have a closer.
oh,
So it's four
okay,
shows.
okay, cool, cool. So my closer would absolutely be if it was out back then. If it was out back then, I would have loved Lost.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would have loved Lost.
Because Lost is a good choice because it pulls you to want to know what goes on in that next episode. So it would keep you tuning in every block to try and catch that as well at the end. Yeah,
Because from my
that's a pretty good
younger
block.
eyes, I would have loved that show.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
and I mean, I did when I watched it. I still fucking love it. It's just such a good show. Okay,
yeah. It just gets so lost in it though.
yeah. Well, there you go. It's in the name.
Okay, so let's see. My winter block. Um, thinking of now of what would I, you know, I'd probably open it with Ripley's Believe It or Not with Dean Cain.
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay.
Because like it was one of those ones like I want to see it, but if I miss some of it, I can just tune in at any time. But it was something that I watched a lot of when I was younger, and because it was always like weird stuff, right? So it was just really intriguing to want to have it on.
Mm,
My anchor show for a TGIF, as bad as it is, I'm torn. So I'll probably just put both of them. But the anchor show to think of to watch back then, Boy Meets World. Um, Even as like it was probably one of the top tier sitcom style family shows that was just great. Still is. Um, like it had all of those life lessons. It was at a time in my life that I was like very um like relatable to everything about it.
mm-hmm.
Like like having that best friend that you always got into trouble with and made those hard life decisions and stuff like that. And then having the older brother, which is exactly how I had it. Um, like that show hit on all levels of what made a perfect TV show, especially for when it was on. So that would be my anchor. My
Nice.
wild card. What would my wild card be for a TJIF? It would probably have to be like a Teen Angel or um, maybe even Sabrina.
Okay.
Um, because like I really like them. Like they're phenomenal. Like I'd probably put Teen Angel, and then I probably honestly for the closer I might put Sabrina, because
Solid.
Sabrina is great. And but it's for me like that was like the slower. Um, it's the winter. I'm probably playing more video games than I am watching TV. To be honest.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, that'd be my winter block, I think.
nice.
Okay, so winter cartoon block. What's your winter cartoon block?
Gargoyles.
Gargoyles is your opener?
Yeah. I don't want to miss Gargoyles, and I want it. I want to watch it.
Right, but
I know.
if as your opener, you'd miss some of it potentially by getting there late.
Fine. I want to watch Gargoyles anyway. Uh, okay. No, since we're sticking to the rules of where we might miss it, I,
It's in the order
I
in which you give it
understand.
is the order
I,
that it's on.
I understand.
So,
No, but I love Gargoyles. Um, and I
me
just
too. I'm not complaining. I have a
uh,
signed Goliath lithograph over there like Oh well, you're not
So
lithograph, but
honestly,
whatever.
my opener would be Men in Black, the animated series.
Ooh, good pull. I
Uh,
love that show. That show was so good.
because I love that show, but I can still feel like I can miss it every now and again and still be okay. Um,
Well, yeah, that was a show that definitely it's each episode was its own little story. There were only certain things that would carry to like that next episode.
right.
So it was just every episode was just a different alien story. So, agreed. Yep, got it.
My truly cannot miss show Gargoyles.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my middle.
Now your wild card show
My
before your closer.
my wild card show would definitely be Batman Beyond,
Batman Beyond. It was okay.
the one
It
with
wasn't
Will
your
Friedle.
crazy one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It was your one that you were like it's not like my like most sought after, but it was still worth the watch.
precisely. Yeah, yeah. Because I enjoyed the show, but it wasn't like yeah. It's my wild card.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
and then
And then your closer.
my closer for animated series, Pinky and the Brain.
Ooh. Ooh, yeah. That would be a phenomenal block. Gargoyles, Pinky and the Brain. Plus you get to sprinkle some Men in Black and yeah, that would be really good. That's a good block. My winter block.
For cartoons.
For cartoon Saturday morning winter block. Um I would probably honestly I'd probably open it with Recess. Love me some Recess, but if I miss a little bit of it, I'm not super hurt about it.
Mm.
Um then my anchor during the winter. What is something I wouldn't want to miss?
Mm.
Probably Reboot.
Oh, good
Um
pull.
Reboot was probably my go-to for like I need to see this because it had a very distinct like story that you had to get every episode or else you were kind of mildly lost.
Mm.
Um so so there was that and then my wild card for that would be probably something like Stormhawks um
Oh wow.
or
Okay.
something like that. Just because like it was one of those like if I need to go make a snack I can go do it at that point, but the show's still really entertaining. And then as a closer, Saturday morning closer that I watched and then probably went and ran outside, but I still had to see it.
Okay.
Um, Probably Doug.
That's a good pull too. Holy. Yeah.
'Cause Doug was good. Like and like this is my winter one, so this is not like the top tier for me.
Mhm.
Um, like this was the I'm gonna go outside and play in the snow kind of, um, and then come back in a couple hours and watch more TV or play video games.
Yeah. Understandable.
All right, TGIF summer, like midsummer, like fresh
Oh,
out of
easy.
school, like all right, go.
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah,
Is my opener, and I'll
that's
explain.
yeah.
Because
Well,
I,
because if you missed the beginning of it, it wouldn't be that big of a deal.
that's right. Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
My must see TV because I absolutely love this show in the summer. I loved it any time of the year. But Keenan and Kel,
Oh, really? I never got huge into that, but I can see the appeal for sure.
who loves orange soda? I do, I do, I do. Anyway, so
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Keenan and Kel, and then my wild card would be uh the the Secret World of Alex Matt
Okay. Okay. I watched a
because
little bit of that. It was pretty good.
I had a big crush on the nerdy older sister.
Oh,
She was a bit
not
of
on
a.
Alex herself.
She was pretty too, but I liked because I was a
Older
big
women.
old nerd. Yeah, I liked both of them, but because I was a big old nerd, she was talking science. She did really well in
Gotcha.
school. She was,
Yeah.
having like she was working on internships at her dad's like chemical plant or whatever
Right.
so I kind of like that little bit of a stickler vibe. Uh
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
anyway,
All right. And your closer?
my closer would definitely have to be um I loved Family Double Dare.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
with Mark Summers. Uh,
I know the show. I don't think I've ever
okay.
watched it
Well,
though.
it's a game show, and the reason I would put that as a summer closer because it was messy. It was just fun to watch. People like
Right.
scramble around, and they did all this hard work, and they didn't win the full prize, but they end up going home with a year's supply of Nesquik. Uh,
Okay.
uh,
All right. I can agree with all those.
yeah.
So I would start my block a little different. So my block is a show that I mentioned earlier and start with American Gladiator.
Ooh.
Like
Okay. Okay.
start it because like you want to see it, but like if you start a little late, you can still get the concept of who's in the lead and stuff like that, and then see the end because the end was
Okay.
really what mattered.
All
Um,
right.
and as long as you got to see the tennis ball launcher one where the contestant is trying to like weave their way up to where the guy with the gun is. Oh, I love that game. Anyways, so yeah, American Gladiator would be my opener. My anchor that would drive me in the middle of summer to be in and like home to watch it. Um trying to think. Like I could say Big Bang Theory, but I don't think I would have been as into it when I was younger. Um, it was definitely an older thing. So I could say that, but trying to think of what really made me home to watch. You know what? I'm gonna say The Simpsons. Like I didn't watch a huge amount of it, but now that I have watched a lot more of it, I wish I would have caught it. Um a lot more. Wild card. Um, I had one earlier and I can't even think of it now. Um, probably a game show of some sort. Not like a Wheel of Fortune or anything like that, but maybe Zoom. I'd say Zoom would be a cool block just to have in the middle of the TGIF because it gives you a little bit of funness to it. I know it's more of a kids thing, but whatever. And then for my closer, um, midsummer, right before I probably had to go to bed. Um, probably Goosebumps.
Good choices.
Yeah, I think Goosebumps
Solid.
is a good choice for that closer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, so Saturday morning, middle of summer. What's your ideal block?
Saturday morning, midsummer. Okay. Well, I would put an opener, Magic School Bus.
Yes, I completely agree. And I will say right now that yes, mine too. My opener is Magic School Bus. 100%.
And my second one, we're doing cartoons now, right?
Yeah, this is Saturday morning. It doesn't have to be a cartoon. There were shows
Okay.
on in the morning
Because
that were live action.
I know we were breaking it into cartoons for the last one. So
It could be live act. It's Saturday morning. Whatever's on the Saturday morning.
Okay.
So like the
Um,
Amanda show could have been on in the Saturday morning. Like,
that's fair. I okay, so I would have chosen Magic School Bus. Then for my little nugget of a show that I would always want to watch, I'll pick. Oh, you said we're trying to avoid some of those super big ones. Um,
no, this is the like the anchor would be the one that you have to see.
VR Troopers.
Okay.
VR Troopers.
I see.
Um,
I so in my final one, I would probably Saturday morning. So my anchor would be Digimon. Um,
oh, that's an anchor that we can agree on. Uh,
yeah, yeah. My I have to see this is Digimon
okay, yeah,
in the
that's
middle of
fair.
summer.
So for me, it would be, but for my anchor, I'm choosing VR Troopers. For my wild
Yeah, makes
card,
sense.
I'm choosing um the Mighty Ducks for my wild card.
Ooh, good pull. Good pull. Okay. And
And
what's
then
your closer?
my closer would be Digimon. That would be
Okay.
my actual
Okay.
closer.
And that's where we vary. So okay, so I'm opening as well with Magic School Bus. My anchor is definitely Digimon. That's my I absolutely 100% have to see this. Especially in the summer before I go run out and go swimming or do whatever.
Mm.
Um like 100% Digimon. My wild card honestly probably Godzilla the animated series.
Ooh, the one that was based off of the Matthew Broderick movie?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a that's an underrated cartoon, dude. People don't
It
give it.
was so good. It was right there. It was on at the same time Men in Black was. Like they were almost back to back, I think, usually.
Yeah, yeah.
Um but anyways, yeah, so Godzilla is my wild card, and then my closer is probably Power Rangers. OG, Mighty Morphin.
Nice, nice. Great choice, man.
Like, and then I'd be like, all right, Power Rangers is over, and then I'd be gone. And you wouldn't see me until dinner time.
Nice, nice. Understandable.
If even then, because depending on where I was, I might be eating dinner wherever I am.
Fair enough.
But yeah, that was yeah. I think all of it valid picks. I'm sure other people have stuff like some people during their TGIF might say like Clarissa or something like that. But
Which is still a
like
valid choice. Valid choice.
oh, the great shows. There are
Yeah.
so many good shows. Like I said, I pulled up a list of different shows. So here's like the classic Saturday morning cartoons. So obviously we got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Garfield and Friends would have been a crazy wild card pool. Like that would have been
I love
right
that
there.
show. That's so good. Yeah.
Um, the Smurfs, like
La
I
la
never
la la
watched a
la
lot of
la.
it,
Yep, yep.
but it was good. DuckTales, DuckTales would have been awesome. Chippendale Rescue Rangers,
Tailspin.
Tailspin, Darkwing Duck, Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain, Tiny Toon Adventures, Looney Tunes in various blocks. The Scooby Doo, any of them. There was regular Scooby Doo. There's Where Are You Scooby Doo? There's Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated,
Yeah.
Flintstones or the Jetsons, Captain Planet, the Real Ghostbusters, Inspector Gadget, like all very valid
Choices.
kind of
Yeah.
things. And then obviously like we have the superhero side of things like Batman, Superman, Static Shock, the
Mm.
Avengers, Beast Wars, Transformers, GI Joe, SWAT Cats, Biker Mice, Street Sharks, so
So
many of them. Um
I'd
and
like
then
to
like
amend
we
the game real quick. Oh, go ahead. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
no, go ahead. I'm just listing shows at this point.
What would be your dream Saturday morning block? Not looking at it as an adult, like that you would like to watch as a kid when you were a kid, but what would be a dream Saturday morning block that you would love to see today? Like today.
Today, hold on. I can pull up my thing. Hold on. I can tell you right now. If it was Saturday morning, why didn't that? Hold on. There we go. All right. If it was Saturday morning right now, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna make a four show playlist of cartoons. We'll stick to just cartoons.
Okay,
My
sure.
four cartoon lineup. Um, Opener, probably watch an episode or two of Angry Beavers.
Solid.
Um, and then probably obviously watch an episode of Digimon or even Spawn or Gargoyles. Like one
Nice.
of those. Um, Followed up with maybe an episode of Beast Wars, and
Nice.
then ended off with some Avatar.
Good choices, man.
Like there's a couple anchors that I would drop in there depending on the mood I'm in, right? So like,
Yeah.
if I want that fun side of things, I could throw on some, Digimon or Metabots or, you know,
Yep.
even Pinky and the Brain, something like that. If I want that slightly more serious kind of thing, I can throw on like Gargoyles or X-Men. And if I'm really in that adult animation style, I'd throw on Spawn
Nice, dude. Nice.
or Roughnecks
Oh
and
wow.
Starship Troopers.
That's a good one.
And
So
I'm literally looking at my actual like my Plex list of stuff that I have.
so mine
Um,
would be South Park,
yeah.
Family Guy,
Okay. I forgot about South Park. Fuck. Yeah. Okay.
uh OP Nation. Oh, you said cartoons or OP
Ooh,
Live, but
OP Nation. I'd be okay. That would be the TGIF. That's our evening watch for sure.
okay. All right. And then so my wild card would be probably Cat Dog for
Ooh,
cartoons.
Cat Dog.
Yep. And
Oh
then
shit. Yeah.
my closer adult cartoon show would be Rugrats.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah. See, and that's the thing is there's so many cool cartoons that would fit into that slot that you just don't think of. Like Powerpuff Girls. Like it
Oh,
is
dude.
something, yeah. Like there's that. There's um what's the name of it? Invader Zim.
I'm ashamed of myself. I
Um
didn't say Invader Zim. I love that show.
but like if I continue on a list here, like Dexter's Lab, Johnny Bravo, Ed, Ed and Eddie, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Samurai Jack, uh, Grim Adventures of Billy Mandy. Like there's so many good cartoons as an adult that I'm like, fuck, that's such a good cartoon.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and then we get into like the anime and or monster style stuff. Like obviously Digimon, Pokemon. There's Yu-Gi-Oh, Dragon Ball, Beyblades, Metabots. But then there's also things like Monster Rancher. There was Mega Man, NT Warrior, um, Sailor Moon, which I know you watched all of
I
recently in the
love,
last
bro.
year.
Yes. Yes.
What about, hey, did you ever watch Cardcaptor
Sakura?
Sakura?
Yeah,
Sakura?
here and there. I enjoyed it, but I was never able to catch it consistently, personally.
It was that opener that was always on that like you're like, hey, cool, that was the end of that episode, but oh look, this is on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for real, that is in real life one of those openers that was like, awesome. Saw the last 10 minutes. Cool.
You got to see her put whatever it was back into the card, and that
Yeah,
was really it.
yeah.
You're like, hey, cool, I got to see the final battle, but all right, okay, bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's the same idea. Like there are so many good shows to watch for that we grew up with. And as bad as it is, I don't hear of that many shows now that hold that iconic feeling that they did back then. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there are zero. I am just saying there are less.
for a younger generation, and I've noticed this a lot of, let's say Gen Z, for instance, a lot of Gen Z material is getting reboots. Like iCarly got a reboot. Like,
Yes, yes and no. I will say it's also to so I have two kids. One is 11, one is 7. So honestly, you know what they watch? They don't watch a lot of shows. Specifically, I'll use my 7-year-old. I don't know if he watches really any shows unless we put it on and are watching it. He generally doom scrolls YouTube like it's going out of style.
oh, your poor boy, poor
Like
boy.
he is just video after video, or he'll search something and then like keep clicking on the recommended videos on the side. That's what he does. He just watches YouTube. That's most of what he watches. Now, is it mindless bullshit? Yes, 100%. But is he sitting there quiet and entertained? Sure.
I mean, no judgment. I just feel bad, like that kids nowadays have to deal with that shit.
But the other problem is we had to turn on the TV and tune into a certain channel to be able to watch stuff, right? Now it's on demand. If I want to watch something, I just log on to whatever streaming network you have and see if there's something that interests you on there.
Now
You
here's a
were
question.
you were not forced to watch anything,
That's true.
you know?
Yeah.
If you wanted to watch Digimon, you had to watch the 2 or 3 shows before it if you were there an hour early.
Yep. But that kind of brings me up to a question that would kind of make a good episode that we could talk about next week, even. How do you
Okay.
feel that that's going to impact your kids when they're our age? Because um, there's so much content that they're absorbing that their friend across the street might not be absorbing. For instance, like you and I, we have like shared memories of Power Rangers, Digimon, Pokemon, you name it, all the
Right.
millennial stuff we grew up with, because it was
Right.
scheduled, blocked programming.
I I think it's something we could probably just discuss right here because we could probably make a whole episode of it, but I don't know enough about all of the stuff he watches to be completely honest.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like I could talk about it in depth. But to look at that, generally from what I see, it's the fact that kids nowadays are so meme and like hype uh affiliated. So if it doesn't hit the most popular thing on the internet, then no one knows about it. So if it's not a trending thing, or like one of the top tier video games or something like that, they have no idea, like because they don't look for that information. So unless it is something that is super circulated, they don't have any
Yeah.
of that stuff. The good thing that is coming out of the accessibility is the want for different education. um you know so there's regular education, going to school and learning all of your basic stuff like math and English and all that stuff. But then there's the other side of it that, hey, as a 7-year-old, if he actually gets interested in, say, physics, if at a young age, there are so many things that he can find and look at and watch on YouTube or other websites that he can educate himself essentially without the use of trying to find a teacher and do all of that. If I had that as a kid, I would probably be much more of a better musician. I would actually potentially have a college degree within something because I would have been able to use like an online college to do stuff and or find something that I had so much fun at that I would have probably stuck with it.
Mm-hmm.
But like when we were in high school was kind of the beginning of the accessibility era, and
Yeah.
we didn't utilize it at all.
Nope.
Like, I we had one class a year like one class a semester kind of thing, that we might use a computer every day, but it was still learning older technology. Um, to try and say, hey, this is what you'll use in the future. And it's like, no, we won't. Fucking in the future, it writes it fucking self. I say, hey, I need this done, and it fucking does it itself now.
Thanks, Bezos.
But it's one of those things like, hey, I need this, or hey, like for example, I know you're working on a Linux thing, but if you need code, you just go to ChatGPT and say, hey, I need this, and it goes, oh yeah, well, here, this is what you do, and then if you need me to do this, I'll fill in this code line, and it gives you a fucking line of code.
Like that is the one thing that I will say just real quick. I won't get on the soapbox. Is remember, guys, AI is a tool. You still need to know how to parse what you're looking at.
and and AI honestly is a good tool to use as a teacher.
Yeah.
So if you are into coding or you are into something, and say you're trying to build um just a simple game. Say you're trying to learn how Pong was coded, right?
Mhm.
And you have that code, you can throw it at ChatGPT and say, hey, can you break this down so I know exactly what's happening? And it'll tell you everything of why this works and why that doesn't, and everything like that. It is a super useful tool. And as much as we're on our way to being the human Terminator, um, it's one of those things like,
Ba-bum,
to
ba-ba-bum.
further the education to further the education of everybody into what you find interesting. It is a great tool.
Yeah. But you
Don't use
did.
it to cheat though.
Yeah, and you definitely need to learn like the basics of coding yourself in order to understand what it's the general
Right.
idea of what it's
Well,
spitting
and that's
out. But
and you know that I was using it
yeah,
to help make. I was making a bit of an app for beekeepers and stuff because I would love to become a beekeeper, um, but I was helping. It was helping me understand how to code and show me like, this is the line of code, and then if you change this and this, it'll make it so, like, say the background color is different,
yep,
or something like that. So
it's so cool. Uh, I well, on that note, I do think we've done a lot of discussing today. Plus, Jalmain has got to be the taxi service for his loved ones. Um, so
yeah, anyways, but yeah, so yeah, thank you for watching today. Let's we've been reminiscing about some cartoons, which is great. Because now I really want to watch some.
yeah, if you're
So
free later tonight, depending on what's going on, maybe we can watch some Angry Beavers and some.
yeah, I'm sure like my wife, I know, is going to want to go to bed probably pretty early because it's been a day of travel, but she
And
also has been sleeping in like not a great bed. So all I've heard for the last 3 or 4 days is, oh, I can't wait to sleep in my own bed.
fair, fair.
So, but yeah, I'll definitely be on later. But anyways, yeah, it's one of those things. So I love just this podcast just makes me reminisce, and it makes me actually want to watch a lot more stuff again that I've forgotten about. So honestly, I hope that's what the podcast does for everyone else. Thank you
Same.
for watching. Um, please like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what your number one block would be down in the comments below. Please let us know what your ideal Saturday morning block would be, and or TGIF, whatever one you preferred, or both. And
Yeah,
let us know, because maybe there's shows that we didn't even talk about, or you're from another country that had completely different shows, because we're Canadian and American, which, as bad as it is, American rules most of the market. But if you're from the UK, you might not have much of what we have. So,
yeah.
um, if you, or even if you're from Honduras. You might have completely different, you know.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things. Like, yeah. So yes, please leave comments. We want to hear from everybody. And again, thank you for watching. I guess this is my part where I say adios, amigos.
Buenos noches, everybody. We'll catch you next time.
Yeah.